experience in Chennai Rail and Metro Rail has been different. We have forgotten about COVID period completely. The pre-COVID daily ridership during working days used to be about 1.4 lakh. Some months back it was 1.8 lakh. Today it's 2.5 lakh.
Much more than
You can imagine the kind of growth. Let me tell you why this kind of development is there. We realized that, I used to be a regular traveler in Metro Rail. Even when I was working in Secretariat as secretary, I used to travel before COVID and even past COVID. Even now actually, substantially. What we observed was that only the IT company type of passengers were actually traveling. We decided that that is not good. It is intended to be a mass rapid transport system for masses. The first thing we did was actually to bring down the fare by 20%. By giving a discount on regular passengers, for regular passengers who are using cars and nothing, not the daily tokens. That triggered a substantial growth, complete change in the profile of passengers. I realized that the market which we are handling is highly price sensitive, and this small change of 20% actually jacked up the lower middle class started traveling with us. Because simultaneously the petrol prices were also going up. So there was a lot of migration of two-wheeler passengers into our system, and even bus transport system from buses also. We are competing with buses, even though our buses provide services at very low cost, and for women it is free in our city. So that I think is the single most contributor for the increase in the overall traffic and our revenues. So that is one. Of course, we also added comfort and facilities in terms of digital products like for car recharging and QR ticketing and other means. We also work on a lot of last mile and first mile connectivity through providing 2- and 4-wheeler shared transport systems access to the customers. And we provide very high quality service in our stations. Stations are absolutely I go public whenever I meet public meeting. I go public saying that if you can't pick up this in my station, please tell me. That is the extent of credibility which we have in our quality of service in our Metro Rail. And we are also implementing, as I mentioned, a very large project in Chennai. So Metro Rail news is there every day in the papers. That again has contributed significantly in creating awareness about the Metro Rail systems in our industry, and that also has contributed to increasing in our traffic and daily ridership. I think today the scenario today is that we are suddenly seeing spike in ridership in such a way that we are near threshold during peak hours with the available rolling stock. And I have had to make some changes in the traffic pattern of traveling, that I had to take short loop in certain areas to manage the significant traffic, and we are now urgently pursuing procurement of additional rolling stock. So I think the lesson from this entire thing is that we have realized that the market is very price sensitive, and we have to work out a program scheme where there is certain for citizens the daily public transport cost should have a certain fee. If that is arranged, like we have in Singapore and other countries, if that is arranged, it can make a lot of difference in actually utilizing the kind of investment which we have made in Metro Rail system to bring it to more efficient use. believe the Singapore operators will be very envious of you guys, because they are still hitting about 80% of the pre-pandemic ridership. And this morning I actually went down to the one of the stations in Delhi Metro. It was about nine-ish. I believe it's past the peak hours. But it is still very crowded. The trains that are coming are still very crowded. Right? So maybe back to Mr. Civic again. So what is the measures taken to control the crowded trains, and what are the plans that your organization will be undertaking to increase in rolling stock, expansion of the line in the next 5 years? Maybe it will be good if you'll be able to share this about what's going to happen in the next 5 years for Chennai.
Yeah, when we earlier thinking was that our metro rail system is intended for replacing cars, passengers traveling the cars should come and use it. That thought we have kept now behind. We have changed that. We want everybody to travel. In Delhi Metro, almost everybody travels. I have seen that happening 10 years back, or 8 years back. And that is one. Number two, we want crowd in our trains. We want crowd in trains. Metro rail is not efficient if it is not crowded. At least during a fairly good period of the day, with the two peak times, it should be crowded. Otherwise, all the investment which we have made is to the user. And once the crowd crosses a certain limit, it doesn't have to go to crush load, but if it crosses a certain limit, 80% of the crush load, you must get additional rolling stock and work on additional rolling stock and continue providing services where people feel comfortable traveling, standing. A person, when he gets into the train, he should, unless it's the initial starting station, he should actually not get seats. And he should get a place to sit after 10 minutes of the train. That is the ideal, that is the target which we have kept, that is the principle which we have kept in our, that is the principle for governing our plan. So given that plan, we have worked out additional procurement for plan for rolling stock. And we should be actually going for a large procurement of rolling stock now. As I said, we are already doing, our network, existing network is 54 kilometers. We are adding another 119 kilometers now, the big addition. And once that comes, then of course we are providing the rolling stock for the new phase. The existing ones, because of the integration factor, there will be a huge surge in the requirement for rolling stock for the existing ones. We have in fact invested almost 3,000 crores to 4,000 crores procurement of rolling stock and making certain other changes in depot and other places for the phase one itself, so the existing line itself. So we are working on that, and we should be expecting the augmentation of the fleet in another 1.5 years, 1 year, 1.5 years or so, because the advantage we have is all of that is produced in India. Our existing rolling stocks are all from Alstom, produced just 50 kilometers from Chennai city. So we are looking forward to a quick addition in our rolling stock.
Mr. Sumakal, you want to share about the next 5 years in Hyderabad?
Yeah, like Sujit sir said, we are also struggling with the same issue about scarcity of rolling stock, because our peak hour ridership now today stands at a level where people are waiting for 2 or 3 trains to just board into the train. People are also boarding one station short and going to the terminal and then getting a seat to reverse. And especially on the station with a front crossover, this is happening very much. And so we obviously have the need for high rolling stock. In fact, to tell you that our passenger density per car passenger person stands highest in the world. I have seen that all the metro data, how much is the ridership vis-a-vis the number of cars they have. We have 171 cars and we are carrying almost 4.7 lakhs, which comes to about 2,800 passengers per car. And I think another highest figure is about Vankam Metro, which carries about 2,400 passengers per car. And of course, this number will vary because its distance is shorter. So we also checked from passenger kilometer point of view as to what is our earning per car, and that also stands. So there is definitely a lot of justification for going for new rolling stock, but reasons are obvious that our hands are right now tight. So what we are doing for improving ridership is to focus from peak hours to non-peak hours. We are constantly reviewing our peak to non-peak ratio. We are constantly reviewing our directional parity because especially in the IT sector, which is at the one end of the line, all our commuters go in the morning to that line and evening they return. In the reverse direction, the traffic is very low. We have a ratio of almost 28% to 72% direction disparity. And this, right now we are using by employing short loops. We are in the reverse direction, we are increasing the headway, but we also acknowledge that in long run it is not going to be. In fact, it will be counterproductive because then this directional disparity will not come down. So there is also a need for us to maintain the frequency in either direction so that we can catch the crowd in other direction and then thereby increase our ridership. Same way for non-peak to peak ratio also, the biggest problem is, or the biggest change in why these things are happening, why operational metro are not viable coming, because the ratio which is adopted in DPR for peak to non-peak ratio, that is the ridership in first 4 hours vis-a-vis the rest of 12 or 13 or 14 hours, that ratio is taken almost 8 to 9. Whereas what we are practically seeing, that ratio is order of 2 also. So what I earn in peak hours 4 hours, almost double of that I earn in the rest of the 13 hours. And that has to change. For that, we are coming up with different schemes, like we are trying to see whether we can offer a discount in the non-peak hours. We are also trying to see whether we can ramp up the frequency, because once passenger knows that the trains are available at a very short interval, probably he will be induced to come to the metro, because generally all operational metro they do is that in non-peak hour we ramp down our frequency because we don't want to run empty trains. But that also has a fallacy. If you don't run the trains at a very regular interval, you will never catch the people from ground to the metro. So I think these are the ideas on which we are trying to work. And of course, first and last mile connectivity is another area. We are lucky to have an organization called HIMTA, which is Hyderabad Urban Metro Transport Authority. We are in close interaction with TSRTC. And like morning, I think it was mentioned that DMRC has provided signage at every bus station as to where it is metro. Same way we are also going about. We are sharing both our metro stations for giving disseminating information about the buses, and similarly at buses stations we are disseminating information about the metro. So we are trying to work in unison rather than being competitive. We are trying to complement and trying to create facilities which will make ease of movement for the passengers. I think this is what Government of India is also looking at, like ease of public life, day-to-day life of the people should become easy, and transport plays an important role in that, and we are certainly working on it. Thank you.
Great to hear that. So, how soon we can share what's the next 5 years ahead, how you guys are dealing with the high ridership, which is a good thing to have there, correct? So maybe you can share about the things that initiatives that you are doing in Bangalore.
A very insightful point from my senior colleagues in the panel. Of course, as I mentioned, we are planning to add about 100 kilometers by the end of 2023. That connects major IT hubs and major industrial hubs to the residential areas of Bangalore. And Bangalore traffic is mainly these pickup vans, the cabs of IT sector, and we definitely are looking at that. And that's the route coming into the demography of riders. That being said, we also are doing a lot of tie-ups with the tech parks. Like for example, the Bagmane Tech Park in Bangalore has metro train going on either sides of the tech park. That hosts about 200 more MLCs in the tech park. So that is about 20,000 more employees in the tech park. So we are tying up with the tech park so that they are also on their own establishing a monorail between the two lines of metro. So that encourages them to take the metro instead of the cab services or the pickup vans that company provides. So that will definitely add to our ridership as well as, it's a very sustainable option to take. Other than that, we're also offering many of these cash bags on the app. If they take multimodal transport and all public transport, we are giving them cash back on certain things. So we are tied up with several transport planning applications by several startups, and we are giving cash backs to them as well. All these and other measure that has been recently taken is providing ULU bike service, that the electric bike services at most metro stations. We are also in the pipeline. We are also hosting them on our app, wherever which will help them in sustainable last mile connectivity also. Of course, Bangalore Metropolitan Bus Service, the BMTC, has been our feeding and last mile connectivity service. And going forward, we are trying at our best to do the multimodal integration in that regard to increase the ridership. So, and it's a win-win for both of us. Thank you.
Great. For Mr. Singh, we understand that we're going to see the first stretch of the RRTS coming out. Pertaining to just now the questions I asked, firstly, what was the projected ridership, given that now all the metros are facing higher than normal kind of passenger flow, with the design of this the new RRTS, are there features to handle such crowds? Maybe you can share it with us.
Okay. So the expected ridership on this corridor is about 8 lakh seats on daily basis, which is 0.8 million. But initially, we'll be facing a challenge of bringing the people to RRTS system like any other metro or mass rapid transit system. In fact, as of today, we are working on methods by which we can bring in people to RRTS. And this operationalization of system itself is in phases. So very soon we are going to operationalize about 20 kilometers of the stretch out of total 82, and then every 6 months we'll be opening up almost 20 kilometers. It is expected that it will take few years for us to come to this level of 8 lakh seats. But we are taking a lot of initiatives, whether it is multimodal integration. The biggest multimodal integration we are doing in Delhi is the Delhi Metro. Out of 8 lines of Delhi Metro, 7 lines we are joining at one or more than one station, so that people can seamlessly move between these two mass rapid transit systems. And we are also going for from the day one on NCMC card, which is One Nation, One Card. That means the same card can be used. And today we had the Transport Commissioner also, he was talking about NCMC. So the DTC, Delhi Metro and RRTS, all three will be seamlessly on NCMC, which is going to support people moving from other modes of transport to mass rapid transit systems or public transport systems. One initiative which NCRTC has taken is in the direction of providing one coach in each train, which is higher class, which is premium class, what we call it, or people call it business class. So this particularly we are doing because we are an intercity mode of travel, and there's large number of cars which enter. Almost there is one estimate that 40% of the cars which we see on the roads of Delhi, they come from outside Delhi. So with RRTS, there and higher class of travel, I think we'll be able to attract large number of people from private mode of transport to RRTS, and finally they will move on Delhi Metro once they come to Delhi. So by these kind of initiatives and very close working with the Delhi Metro and other metro systems, within our zone of influence, whether it is Meerut Metro, we are integrating in any, it has been rather subsumed within the RRTS infrastructure. And in Gurugram also, which is the next future corridor, we'll be integrating with the Gurugram Metro. And then last mile connectivity, we are working on that also extensively. We are talking to the concerned states. Already in UP, we have identified the routes where the feeder services will be provided by the state government. What we heard in the morning from Delhi also, now Delhi, the feeder services will be provided by the state government, which is very good initiative. So there will be no competition, rather systems will be complementary to each other. And our USP being the high speed, the average speed to a customer will be of the order of 90 to 100 km per hour, with stoppages every 5 to 7 kilometers. So we expect that a lot of people will shift to RRTS over a period of time. Now coming back to your specific question that whether the system is ready for that or not. So we are using ETCS level 2 signaling system, and we can run train up to a frequency of 3 minutes per train with that kind of headway. That means a 9-coach train carrying about 2,000 passengers. We can have a capacity of up to 50 to 60,000 passengers per direction. This is quite high. Is as per the projections, after 20 years, the system should be carrying about PHPT of say about 35,000. Whereas today the system is capable of moving about 50 to 60,000 passengers per direction. And with the passage of time, technology will improve. I think we can reduce the headway maybe 20 years from now. So there is adequate capacity now. Issue is what my colleagues are saying, that we have to bring more people to the system, and that's what we are doing. Thank you.
To continue with you, will we be seeing any new digitization initiatives as well for the RRTS?
So we are deeply and extensively technology. The technology which we are using in implementing this system is in terms of railway subsystem. Many of the technologies, rather I should say almost all of the technologies, are being used in the country for the first time. They are cutting edge technologies, whether it is signaling system, the rigid catenary for 180 km per hour speed, or the rolling stock, the new kind of rolling stock which we are using. Other than this asset management system, we are going for a very comprehensive asset management system. People talk about the predictive maintenance. Predictive maintenance also, the rolling stock is having the capability or the technology available where we can do the predictive maintenance. We are going for IoT devices on the track, we are going IoT devices on the structures, so that we can predict the behavior of the fixed assets also, and we can do predictive maintenance. Beyond this, during the project implementation stage also, we are using common data environment and BIM. All our structures, all our buildings, all our infrastructure, whatever we are creating is completely on the BIM. And this is bottom up. That means our own employees, they are fully conversant with the BIM, and they completely drive the BIM implementation on the project. So common data environment with the BIM, and then project monitoring. We have developed our own project monitoring tool called SPEED. This is helping us in a big way, not only in monitoring the project, but in facilitating so many things, whether it is this is kind of SAP for the organization also. We will be finally moving to SAP, full-fledged SAP, but even in the last 4 or 5 years since we started working on the project, we use these high technology tools, including surveying, like in surveying this kind of linear project where I either we are on the viaduct or in a tunnel. So very rigid kind of structures. And our speed, design speed being 180 km per hour, the requirement of alignment of track and viaduct, everything is so stringent that we have gone for this technology called CORS, Continuously Reference Station. And we can pinpoint any point all around the 100 kilometers with accuracy of 10 millimeters without any forward, backward reference through satellite navigation system. So we are using technology in a big way, and probably that is helping us in timely implementation of the project. Other than generating a lot of data which we will use during the maintenance period. Thank you.
It's great to see that, before the system is run, so many, initiatives are put in place. I believe the reliability of this, new line will definitely be to the committed standard that, you want to achieve, fantastic. Maybe Mr. Siddiq, you want to talk a bit on the digitization efforts in Chennai Metro?
We have worked on digitization on various aspects, like what Mr. Vinay has mentioned. We are also, as far as construction is concerned, we are very good in, we are into having a very good PMI system, our own PMI system. And so that's completely, all stakeholders are part of that network. And then as far as the fair auction, the fair products are concerned, that again we have done a lot of innovation there. In fact, most of the metros have done. Bangalore has done a lot. We have done, we too have done with that. And I don't want to repeat that. Whatever she said, more or less has been done here also. And now we are next stage for the phase 2. What we are now doing is we are now disconnecting the AFC system, AFC application system from the AFC hardware system. It's two separate contracts. Traditionally, we have always integrated them together. This time we decided to go separately, and we have floated it down to September already. So that, the AFC system is a purely application-based contract, and the hardware, station hardware, etc. is completely off, separately done. So this is a big break from what is the traditional method, and we are expecting that this will actually bring down our overall operations cost on AFC application during the life cycle of the project. And we are also working on the other aspects in the IT side, in marketing side also. So that's it.
Great. Mr. Chimaka, you want to share the part on digitization in Hyderabad?
So now, our is a completely operational metro now. In project phase, certainly we use all the digitization techniques for the project execution. But now in the operation phase, we have IBM's Maximo, which is asset management system, and that has been fully put to use, where we do all our work on the OMS, be it inventory management, be it generation of service requests, analysis of all the failures, and it works seamlessly. And because our rolling stock is equipped with a remote transmission of data, so from online data point messages are there, they are received and then they are routed to MS server, and this generation of repair notification all is done automatically. So this is one area in the maintenance where we are doing digitization through MS. We have a SAP implemented for financial functions. As far as the predictive maintenance is concerned, yes, there is a lot of scope further, because at the time of implementation of projects, probably these are only limited to rolling stock, where we take the data from teams and monitor the various parameters. But of course, there is a scope now for doing predictive maintenance on overhead traction systems, track systems, as well as especially wheel monitoring devices, which can allow us to capture the wheel data in the rolling. So
obstacles, there have been many. As I was mentioning, I'm also general knowledge in IT, so in the last 1 year, if I have to point out, we have recently awarded the contract to revamp the complete network infrastructure for Bangalore Metro. This includes all IPANs, then DHCP servers and PNL servers, all these things which would enable Bangalore Metro to be completely cyber secure, one. Number two, it will have a downloadable data speed of more than 1 GB at all metro stations. That we are looking at helping us increase the non-fare box revenue. If you travel in Seoul, South Korea, you have these huge full-color digital boards and TVs in the rolling, in the cabins, in the trains also. So something like that would be anytime which may be made available in Bangalore Metro. We are preparing the network ready for that. We are also going for a complete cyber secure network by setting up SOC and NOC and in-house capabilities of cyber security in Bangalore Metro. Other than that, we also have shifted to HCI, infrastructure and hardware. That will help us in all day-to-day deliverables for all ERP functioning, project management, system functioning, and other related IT programs that we look at. Also, we are taking assistance from NCR Transport regarding our predictive asset analysis and management too. And we are one other very notable welcome step that we have taken is 5G pilot. TRI's 5G pilot project has been done in Bangalore Metro, MG Metro Station, where all the passengers and public in the vicinity of metro station will get a downloadable data speed of 1.5 GB and uploadable 65 GB data speed. So we are looking at a lot of others, which is almost 50 times the speed of what we have currently. Other than the applications and WhatsApp ticketing and QR ticketing, these are the measures, digital initiatives that have been taken in the last 1 year.
Great. The view of Taram is, I could go on another list of 10 questions, but I would like to open it to the audience. Are there any questions that anyone want to ask the panelists? If we have one, we will be limiting it to one question. Sorry.
Thank you very much. My name is Sharad Saxena. I'm from the Asian Development Bank. First of all, I'd like to say that it's a privilege that our institution is actually partnering with 3 of the 4 projects that are listed and the panelists, esteemed panelists who are sitting there. My question is essentially, goes back to some of the points made by the panelists that, metro companies, and we've seen, Delhi Metro sets a benchmark. They've come up in a great way, and these are some of the most fantastic and world-class systems that are being developed. I think going forward, the real challenge is about financial sustainability. And how can we really empower these organizations to actually create other revenue streams? As Mr. Siddiqui mentioned, they are compelled to keep the fares low to really make them fully mass transit systems and attract a large number of people. So what are the other revenue streams that can be thought about? And how can the government really empower these organizations so that they can be financially self-sufficient going forward? Thanks.
Yes.
So yeah, financial sustainability is a big issue for these systems. And if I can talk about RRTS, what we are doing here, and how government has empowered us, and maybe where there's some lack of empowerment. So the land which is made available for these projects is generally free of cost as part of the project. If the state governments and central government, if they can provide land next to these stations, then these lands can be monetized in a way or over a period of time, which can be which can create good long-term revenue streams. other than some money which can be made at the start itself. So that is one. Number two is that there should be more flexibility available to organizations to plan. Presently, in some of the situations, there are a lot of approvals still will be taken by these organizations, and which involves starting from the master planning to zonal planning to final building approvals, because these are commercial buildings which are being developed by the transit organizations. Plus some flexibility in going for newer kind of models of land monetization, which may be a little bit risky in some cases, but if really that money is to be made, then the flexibility available or the models available should be close to the industry practices in the market otherwise. If we go by the standard public procurement norms and all, then it will be very, very difficult to match the requirement of revenue requirement of these organizations. But there are opportunities which can be used, which we are using, but not up to the mark. And it requires a lot of support from the not only the central government, but primarily from the state government in terms of land, in terms of more flexibility to move. If that happens, then probably outside fare box revenues will compensate to some extent the, as my colleague was saying regarding the Chennai Metro, that they have to reduce the tickets or the fare. Then probably that can compensate for to some extent. But finally, see, what Chennai example is entirely different. They have reduced the fare, but their revenue is not reduced. Revenue has gone up. So this is a beautiful example of exercising the flexibility available with the organization. This is a real optimum where they could bring it back and got the more revenue. So, but the fare of outside fare box revenues are very, very important for sustainability of the project.
Can I take a question, sir? I'm Sanjay Agarwal from World News 24/7. My question was about when we're talking about the discounts over there giving Chennai. So do we are planning for metro miles, where you want to incentivize the commuters to travel, whether he really wanted to travel or not, but he has to earn. And another thing is that we are not having a 24/7 metro, although the world is working 24/7. And then the last question related is, because of the work from home culture which is happening, and like you said, only 80% of the rise post-pandemic. So is it, are you going to take a backseat somewhere in your plans for the future? The coaches and whatever you said.
Chennai?
Yes, can you make
Chennai, as I said, we are desperate to buy coaches.
Yeah.
It's the other way around.
You have to take it from them.
We have to actually buy, and as I said, we are already running full capacity during peak, close to full capacity, fresh capacity. So our situation is slightly different there. And as far as you were mentioning about metro miles, yes, see, that is what she has just mentioned about giving credit to the travel, cashback. That's more or less the same, it's a very different way of calling it. In fact, I have given an open offer to my Metropolitan Transport Corporation of Chennai that I will pay you 10 rupees per passenger from my fare if you bring a passenger to my station, and your bus, it is a bus, it's a terminal, it should be a terminal bus stop for your bus, that's all. I will give you flat 10 rupees per passenger. It doesn't matter if I make losses now, over in the long run I will definitely gain. Because the advantage we have here is that for us the marginal cost is zero. Marginal cost is zero. So it's just revenue. So whatever revenue I get, right, if you share a portion of it, even 40-50% of it, it is still worthwhile. So that is one. And one more point I would like to say regarding the financing aspect, which I said. Actually, we have decided to, as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned, our focus is on operational, to reach operational balance, not necessarily. And as far as the TOD is concerned, we have consciously taken a policy in government there that the TOD benefits will go share of our capital expenditure. So I think that is a much better deal than, trying to meet the capital expenditure target.
I'd just like to supplement what Sir said about the mines and early mines. Beyond Hyderabad Metro, on Hyderabad Metro, we have incorporated a scheme in partnership with the various IT firms, and we have opened, along with IGBC, a competition which is called as a Green Mile. So every company, through their employees, whatever green miles they earn, and then we thought of a competitive spirit among the employees to encourage that they make their employees travel more and more by metro, and whatever employees earn mileage, that goes to the credit of the company, and then they earn the green miles, and probably they can use it for their carbon credit or other aspects. So that is one idea which we have been currently working on, and we have already hosted one or two events on that through IGPC. About real estate, I think because Hyderabad project is a PPP project where these were built into the project where we were supposed to earn about 45% of our revenue through non-trade blocks. And on that we are doing, there are various schemes apart from real estate. We have optic fiber which is laid on the viaduct and which is given on rent to the ISP providers, and that is one source of income. We have telecom towers on our station building, which earn us rental from the telecom companies. We also, like other metros, we also give advertising space on our piers as well as on the trains. So these three schemes are there. Apart from that, we have TOD malls, which are a constant source of income. But what was envisaged about 45%, today it is about 20%, and that has to build up. And on that, we found certain conditions in the PPP which were not working in favor of us, like providing land on lease is not working for housing development. Nobody wants to buy a house on a lease. So those kind of things are there where we are working with the government, the state government, and also wherever forum is there, we are recommending that probably we need to work on these plazas and soften them so that they become attractive.
Quick thank you to the questions and the panel for this morning session. I apologize for the extended time, and given that for real operators, we need to talk about punctuality. Okay, so let's give a warm round of applause for our panel. Thank you very much.
One question regarding our RTS from Raikale to Meerut. We have Meerut Expressway. I am using my car in last mile connectivity is no problem. How have you any study to divert the passengers from expressway to RRTS?
So ultimately it is a multimodal integration which will help.